Hi, good morning.
Hello. Yeah, good morning. Can you just acknowledge me if my screen is visible, please?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yes,
All right.
yes, yes.
All right. Thank you. Well, before going to the topic of today, right, I just want to set a wrapper of what we had by yesterday, and let's go up with the topic for today, right? So we were starting up discussing about the migration service that we have, that is your Azure Database Migration Service. And your Azure Database Migration Service is the one which helps you to migrate your data, which can be from the on-premise environment or let's say from a SQL server towards the Azure SQL database, or even from the heterogeneous database modes like let's say from a Oracle one towards a MySQL, or from the Oracle one towards Cosmos DB, anything like that. I mean like a PostgreSQL or anything. Okay. So as an overall agenda, your Azure is going to help you out with a service called as DMS. That is your database migration service. The database migration service will help you to migrate the data, which is said to be from the different environment, from different source that you have. DMS also comes up with a tool called as DMA, that is your database migration assistant. The database migration assistant is to just make sense that you have the exact objects, you have the exact tables on your destination, and you're all set to go good with your migration from the on-prem towards the cloud environment. And further beyond, you also have the DMS, which is going to work with two sort of things. One is your online migration, and the other one is said to be your offline migration that we have, right? The first, yeah, I can make it on this way. The very first basic thing that we have is an offline migration, and then you have the online migration. The major difference between an online migration and offline migration is that online migration will come up with a minimal SLA. It's not that it does not have any downtime. It comes up with a minimal SLA, okay, where your application can be still readable by your customers, okay, and you can set the source as both read and write when the application gets migrated. But Microsoft does not ensure that this is going to be the number of concurrent users, or this is going to be the number of persistence that can log in, anything like that. Okay, so online migration is not recommended when you go for a transaction database which is said to be migrated, or when you say that I need to migrate a data which has a huge volume, which has huge number of read and writes that's going on. Still, it's not recommended that you go for an online migration. And offline migration is that it's going to be completely zero accessible, right? This is going to be zero accessible. You don't have the connectivity towards the application which is said to be at source. Your application will be just available at the destination, okay? And until the application gets migrated, you would not be able to connect with the application. So that's where we go up with something called as an offline migration. I hope you guys are getting it. I would repeat it. Online migration is going to help you out with a minimal SLA, which is not recommended when you have huge sort of data volumes. Offline migration is going to help you out by 100% migrating things. You don't have any sort of interrupt from the customer side or from the client side when you migrate it, as the application is going to be completely shut down. It's like a banking scenario what we do. And once the application gets migrated, your customer's request will be rerouted towards the application that we have it on the cloud. I would again make it across. DMS is the service that we use, Database Migration Service. And inside DMS, you have a powerful tool called Database Migration Assistant. So this DMA will come up with the assessment that you're going to take. Okay, it will tell you whether you have the objects, what are the schema that you need to convert. Okay, so all those things will be, examined by this assessment, and it will give you a report for the migration stuff. The migration on the DMS can be done either with object only, or it can be also done with schema only stuff. Okay, any of these things can happen. So you can either go up with the object only migration, or you can even go up with the schema only migration. Any questions on the previous topic? Hey guys. All right, I assume that it's all good to go, right? Okay, cool. Let's go up with the next sort of demo for today, right? So today we are going to work with the DMS, Database Migration Service, which is said to be an offline migration. And we will also work with the Azure SQL database, okay, which will be about how to create a DB and exporting it from your SSMS, okay, from your SSMS towards the cloud one, all these things. Well, guys, let's get into the topic more. So here I go up with the database migration service, which is said to be offline migration, and I have a white paper for this. Can you find it on the screen? So this is the scenario what we have. I need it to be interactive, so I need some inputs from you guys as well. You can just share me your inputs, guide me on how we can do this particular sort of migration. Okay. Fabricum has assessed the performance of Azure SQL Database Service and its feasibility of it for them to use it for deploying their on-premise database into Azure SQL Database Service. So the main agenda here is to migrate the on-prem DB what they have towards the Azure SQL DB. Now they are trying to understand how the Azure DMS will help them to migrate their on-prem database towards your Azure using DMS. So using DMS, they are going to migrate from the on-prem towards the cloud environment. The on-prem is said to be a normal MySQL or any SQL DB that you have, and the cloud is said to be the Azure SQL database, which is the destination. They are having database that must be migrated without making them to go offline, and there are also databases that can be migrated by taking them offline. So you can go up either with the online migration or you can go up with offline migrations, like mixed group of what they have. Because of this, Fabricum is trying to understand how the offline database migration, the online database migration offered by Azure DMS can be used to migrate the database without any issue. So as I told you earlier, let's take up a scenario where we don't have more number of customers, your number of huge volume data or anything like that. So there I can go up with the offline migration. So today we are going to work with this offline database migration. And tomorrow we will be working with this online database migration. I mean the next session that we are going to join. Hence, in this demo, we'll be migrating the on-premise SQL Server database of Fabricum to Azure SQL Server DB, okay, your Azure SQL database. Are you clear about this white paper? Any questions on this?
Yeah, Firoz, yeah, fine, yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, sir. So here I will go up with the database migration service. Okay, the service which I'm going to use is database migration service. And further, I am also going to come up with something called as a on-prem DB. So this on-prem DB will run using SSMS. And I'm going to come up with Azure SQL database, which will be on cloud. That's your destination. And further, we are going to use offline. Okay, for this demo, we are going to use offline migration to migrate the DB from the on-prem towards the cloud environment. I hope you guys are clear. So this is the heads up that we have. Okay, now you guys tell me the step-by-step execution, right? Step-by-step execution of what I need to do for this. What's the first step I need to do? I don't have SSMS on my machine, so I will create a lab VM again, okay, which will come up with SSMS. Okay, so this is going to be my cloud. This is going to be my cloud. What would be the second one this is going to be my on-prem. I'm sorry, just make sense. This is going to be my on-premise. Okay, what is the second one? Hey guys, are you there?
On cloud VM?
Yes. So you will be having on cloud. Okay. It's not on cloud VM, but what's the other service?
Azure SQL.
I'm sorry? Hello?
Azure SQL, Firoz.
Azure SQL, yes. We will go up with the Azure SQL database, right? So that's going to be the destination. And what service we are going to use here? I'm going to create offline migration.
DMS.
Yes, we will be using DMS over here. Okay, so I will be using a database migration service to migrate my on-prem towards the cloud environment. Now let me go up, spinning up this first one, okay, the lab VM that we have. So let's kick on towards the Azure portal.
Firoz, it is completely the administrator task, right, to migrate the database?
Not exactly, because it's not completely about the administrator task. When there's said to be some object changes that you need to do or re-engineering that we need to do, it will be on your part. You have to work on it. I mean, the DBAs should work on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So offline, you are making the database offline means you are making the users offline or database offline?
No, no, I'm making the DBs off. So I'm going to make the DBs offline, and once when the DB is set to be offline, the customers are also set to be at not reachable status for the database. Okay, both the users and the database will be at offline.
Okay. But how come database DMS will connect if database is offline mode?
No, no, DB, see, we are going to say that the database can be accessible for the customers only with the read access, right? We are not going to make it as both read and write. I will show you when I do this migration. You have an option where you can say that either the database is going to be read from the source or it will not be available even for the read purpose like that. Okay, so that will help the customers to either reach the application or the application will be at a downtime or such. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here. So here, let's go up for creating your source. Let's say SQL Server. Can you find this? We have SQL Server 2016, Service Pack 1 on Windows Server 2016. So I'll select this and let's click on Create to get it created. All right, so I will say Create New Resource Group, TCS A2 Resource Group. VM name is set to be S SQL VM. Set to be at Southeast Asia, and size I will go for change size B2MS. Username. Allow selected ports with 3389 and let's click on the disk. Okay. So I will select standard hard disk here. Networking, let these things be default. Let's go to the management. And this is, okay, I no need boot diagnostics as well. And we will go for SQL Server settings. Make sure it's going to be a public network, okay, public internet. Enable SQL authentication and then create this machine. Let's click on create. Let's wait for this to be created.
Yeah, Firoz, even we have the DAC pack to deploy, right?
Yes,
Or-
you can take a backup using the .backpack extension as well.
Okay.
It's on the Azure SQL that you can do.
Yeah. While doing the migration, due to uninterrupted things, if it is got cancelled, it will roll back all the things, right?
And sorry, can you come again, Mahesh?
If I am doing migration, so
Okay.
do work or some other issues, it got interrupted and it is failed in middle.
Uh-huh.
So it will roll back completely, or it will create any checkpoint kind thing?
No, no. It will not roll back completely. It is going to create a log. Whenever you do a migration, I will show you here, it's going to create log. So when there is said to be a data leakage, or when there's said to be some interruption, some breakage happens, then it's going to start the initiation only from the point where it got dropped out, not from the scratch. Okay? Let's see if this VM is created. It's still getting created. Let's go with the next one meanwhile, right? I'll go with this cloud one. Okay, I'll create my destination, which is a SQL database. So let's say create a resource. And it's Azure SQL database. So I've named the DB as CodeSister.db, and I will create a server. I don't need any sort of elastic pooling, and I'll go with the basic DB size, 5 GB. Yeah. Let's click on apply. Okay, it's 2 GB since we don't have elastic pooling here. And the additional settings, no need of any backup, anything. Okay, it's set to be a blank DB, and I'll create this database now. Okay, let's wait for this creation. Or we shall even do one thing. I will share you the Azure account details, right? You can go up with this account and you can start creating the service. You can also do the hands-on meanwhile. Learn Azure at codesyslearn.tk. Okay, this is your account ID and WebEx at pass123. This is going to be a password. I hope you're connected. You can use the below account details and you can start working on the demo. Okay.
Firoz, can you share
Yeah.
that user ID and password in the chat window?
Sure, sure. I will do that. I will do. Okay. I hope the machine is created. It's running. Okay. You want me to wait until you get these two environments to be created, or can I go for the demo? Hey guys. All right. I will connect for the machine here. Let's download the HDP. I'll say connect. And let me click on yes to get it created. So here I will turn off the IE enhanced security configuration on the server manager. Go for start and in your server manager. Go for the local server and I will turn off this part, IE enhanced security configuration. And now I will go to the Azure portal from here, okay, so that I no need to walk out each and every time. So consider this is my on-prem machine. The one which I'm going to work right now is set to be on-prem machine. Okay, so here, let me go for my VM. So I have lab VM here, the one which we have created. You should be able to find it here. Okay, so you have SQL VM that we have. Let's go up for the machine now with saying across installing DMS. Okay, so let's open up DMS to be installed. Okay. Now load Azure DMS. Okay, wait. I will just download the tool with the DMA. I'm sorry, it's not DMS. Let's go up with the DMA one. Let's click on download. All right, let me go up for run here and accept the license agreement. Install. All right. So this is the tool that we have. Okay. I hope you guys are connected with me.
Yeah, little bit slow, Firoz.
Okay, fine. I'll wait for you on this step. Okay, you can complete and then we will go further. All right?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Firoz, what settings you have done in the server manager? Because I have missed that part.
You just need to go up for the server manager. I'm showing you once again. You can go to the local server and go for this IE enhanced security configuration, right? Just turn this off, right? You have to put this at off. That's it.
It's
Okay.
accessibility, right?
Yeah. And sorry?
It is for internet accessibility or
Yes, yes. Internet access security. You're right.
Firoz, can you share the administrator account username and password?
Hello. Which username here? You mean the Azure account details?
The administrator account username and password. The demo user
Administ-
one.
Yes, I gave up demo user and demo at pass 123. You can give anything, but make sure that you don't forget the username and password.
Okay.
Just give me a heads up once if you have completed till this.
Yeah. Do we need to enable the firewall to connect the server?
You need to turn off the IE and security configuration.
No. While connecting RDP.
Connecting RDP, you need to open up 3389. That's it.
So from networking I need to open up, right?
Yes, on your networking, you should find the inbound rule. So there open up 3389.
Okay.
Hey guys, are we good to go?
హలో మేడం చెప్పండి మేడం.
మహేష్ ఆఫీస్లో ఉన్నాడా? హలో.
Hello? Hello? Guys, are you done? Please, I mean, just give me some inputs when I ask something here. I'm here waiting for you people.
Yeah, because yeah, I'm downloading the DM actually. Yeah, one minute.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I have downloaded from my end.
All right, fine. So here, let's go up for your local one. Okay, I have the DMA with me, and we have this turned off, IE enhanced security configuration. I'll go with SSMS now. Okay, so let's go with SQL Server tools, and you have the SQL Server Management Studio. Let's open up the SSMS. I will use this link. I have some sample workloads which we have it on this link. Let's download it. Okay. You can even use the same. I have shared the link on your chat box. So let's download this server sample. Okay. Here you go. So you have all these things. Okay, your sample workloads. Let me keep it on the documents. And let's open up this with your SSMS. It's getting loaded. All right, let's connect for this machine, SQL VM, the local one. Let's go up here, okay, and I'll create a new DB. And I've named this as on-prem DB, okay. So let's say TCS on-prem DB, okay. Just stop me if you feel that I'm going fast or you're not able to follow anything like that, okay. And here, the first one, we are going to create objects. Okay, so let's go up here and I will open this with SSMS. Can you find this? We have this data which is going to create objects for us. Okay. So you have table which is going to be created as production.categories, production.brands, okay, production.products, all these things. Let's just go across on executing this towards the DB, which is TCS on-prem. So now in your TCS on-prem, I have executed it. You can see command executed successfully. And in tables, you should be able to find the tables which we have. I hope you guys can make sense. We have production.brand, categories, products, stocks, etc. Okay. Now the second part is that I'm going to load the data. You can find here we are going to load the data. So we have the values, right? For production.brand, you have some values, and you have the same for the other tables as well. So the only thing I'm going to do here is that I'll say use the DB name, which is TCS on-premise, on-prem DB. Okay. And now we will execute this. All right, so it has been created. So now we will go up with your DMA. The very first thing is, I hope you guys remember, we have to do assessment. Let's say demo 1. Source is set to be a SQL server, and the destination is going to be Azure SQL DB. Can you make sense? I'm going to check the database compatibility, and I'm going to check the features as well. Let's click on next, and let's give the DB name. So the DB name is SQL VM, Windows Authentication, and let's connect. We should be able to find the DB here, TCS on-prem. Okay. So now we are going to take up this database and let's start the assessment. So this is the normal one that we get, right? You should have seen this by yesterday as well. You have the SSAS one, and we have the other thing that you need SSAS to be added up when you go for some migration as such. Okay, so let's skip all these things. The only thing we need is that we are going to take up the schema and we are going to export it. Okay, so if you need, you can also export the report. Now let me go up for your migration. Okay, and here I will say again demo migration 1, SQL Server, Azure SQL Database. Let's say schema only. Okay, not the data, schema only. So let's say create, and the service which is source is SQL VM, Windows Authentication. Let's click on connect. And we will go up with the server name. Copy this server credentials. Okay, so you can go up. We have a DB on the SQL database. So this is my Azure SQL Cloud. Okay, this Mahesh has created it. Okay, I'll create my database here. I'm sorry, I need to create a SQL DB. So let's say, I remember I created it. Just give me a moment. ECS day 2. I don't have it. Okay, let me create a new one quickly. Shoot. Yeah. All right, so it will be a basic database for us. Let me wait until this DB gets created. Okay, just wait for me until this gets.
Uh, yeah, Firoz. Yeah, Firoz, able to hear me, right?
Yes, yes, tell me please.
Yeah, I'm trying to give the connection at means source at the data migration assistant. It's saying that connection to the server failed, and it is saying that one more error saying that the certificate is not trusted.
You need to click on trust certificate, only then it can get added up. You have an option called trust certificate, just make sure that you have selected that.
Meanwhile, can you show me the DMA and how you doing the assessment, Firoz? Yeah.
Yes, sure. You can go up for the DMA here. Okay. You need to click on Start a project, go with assessment, give your source and target. You can complete the assessment first, and then you have to come for migration, which is uh, schema only, not the data. Okay. So here, I have my VM spinned up here, so I will go to the target. Okay. SQL Server authentication. Server security. So this is the DB which we have, the cloud one. Okay, now I'm going to deploy the schema alone. Okay, can you find this? Preparing source database schema. And let's generate the SQL script here. So deploy the schema. I hope you can see the screen. The schemas are getting deployed. So this is the first step that you need to do. First, you have to grab the schemas. You need to deploy the schema on the destination that you have. Are you clear? Any questions until this? Okay, I assume it's all good. Can I go to the next step? I'll create a resource, okay, which is said to be a database migration service. So let's say database migration service here, and I'll click on create. Let the DB name be Code Sizzler DMS. Resource group, we shall call it from TCS Day2, and it's Southeast Asia data center region. Let's create a VNet, okay, a new VNet. Let me call it as Code Sizzler VNet 1. And pricing, I'll be using a standard one. Let's click on create to get it created. Code Sizzler DMS is already taken up. Okay, let's say Code Sizzler or TCS DMS. Okay.
The assessment which is present at a VM level will check only for on-prem SQL, right? Firoz, or it will check for Azure SQL as well?
Which one? I'm not getting it. I'm not getting you.
Yeah, at VM level, I have downloaded the DMA
Okay.
and I'm trying to do the assessment for that. It's giving only for installed SQL Server at VM level.
Yes, you can do it only on the VM level. Not you cannot take it on the entire schema things, right? You can just take it across for the database, which is said to be at the on-prem machine. Okay, not towards the cloud one. So you will take the schema which is at on-prem, and then you will put it towards the cloud one. Are you
Okay.
clear? Yeah. And just waiting for this DMS to be created. I would recommend you guys to complete till this so that you will not have any hurdle when I go for the migration. And please let me know if you have any questions. If you want me to repeat it, I can also do that.
Yeah, Firoz, I'm not clear on one part. Actually, we have downloaded the DMA,
Correct?
we are doing the check, means whether assessment check for
Correct.
that on-prem database, but we are not comparing the Azure database, right? Whether it is compatible or not. These things.
See, your Azure SQL DB is an empty one, isn't it? Your assessment should be taken only for the database which is at on-premise because you're going to move the data which is at on-prem towards the cloud one. So assessment, which is about the schema, can be taken up only for the on-prem one. Once after we take up the assessment, we are going to migrate the schema. We are going to deploy the schema. Hope you can see my screen towards the cloud one. Because in case if you're not deploying it, it will say that I don't have the table so that I cannot do the migration. I will show you that as well. Okay, I will show you if I'm not deploying the schema, what will happen as such. Okay, so first the on-prem one should be taken up. It should be deployed towards the cloud. Only then you can go for the migration. If not, it will not do the migration, saying that the table does not exist.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you show me assessment once again?
Sure, I will. I will. See, I'm going up for the assessment. I'll say demo one. Okay. I'm sorry, it's not demo one, demo two. SQL Server to Azure SQL Database. You can say create,
Okay.
and you can select the source. Okay, so this is my on-prem machine. I'll click on connect. This is my DB that I have,
Okay.
and I can say start assessment. So it takes the assessment for the Azure. See, it takes up from SQL VM, and the target platform is Azure SQL DB. So it correlates whether this database can be deployed towards Azure SQL database.
Okay. Okay.
Is that okay? Now the migration, I mean assessment is done. Next step is to come for the migration. So you come for the migration, you say migration one,
Okay.
SQL Server to Azure SQL DB, say schema only. So the schema, what you have here will be migrated. Okay, you can see the server SQL VM, that's my on-prem one. I can say connect, and this server, it's, yeah, we have it here. So I can select the server and I can click on deploy the schema. That's it.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, fine. So if any of the existing objects are there, if any add extra columns and other things,
It will write it at top of the same. So see now, it's already there. It's generating the objects. Okay, we can try it. I'll say deploy schema. It will write on the top of the same what we have. That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
So it won't delete the or truncate existing data which is present in.
No, no, it will not do that.
Okay. So if I create a migration service, Azure migration service for this project, I can use for any of the project. There is no restriction kind, any of the region and all the things, right, Firoz?
No, no, nothing based on the data center region. All you can use it for anything.
So whenever we use it, then only the billing will be there. Otherwise, no.
Correct. Whenever you do the migration, you're going to pay for it. Please make sure that you'll be deploying your DMS. It will take some time. Okay, I'm just waiting for the same.
Throttling issue.
Let me check if the DMS is deployed. Okay, it's still getting deployed. Let's wait until it gets done. How about the status from you people? Are you all done till this?
Yeah, Firoz, still I'm creating the DMS from my side.
Okay. Okay, let's wait, right? Even my DMS is getting deployed. Let's wait.
But for virtual network, it's not giving any option to create any of the virtual network.
No, you will be having a name called, you should fill the name. You will be having an option at the down. You should fill the name that will help you to create a VNet.
Okay. So in that, what exactly it is going to, if I give the name in virtual network?
It's going to create a VNet. Can you find my screen? You have something called as code system VNet 1 subnets default. So it has to create a VNet, and one day inside the VNet you will be having your, your DMS. It's more over a compute, right? So it has to come up with a networking environment, and that's exactly where you're going to deploy the resource.
Okay.
Okay, my DMS is created. Shall I go further, or you want me to wait here?
Yeah, you can proceed. Yeah.
Okay, I'll say new migration project, and let me name it as migration test or TCS. Let's select SQL Server for the source, and destination is Azure SQL DB, and it's going to be an offline migration this time. Okay, let's click on save, and I will create this. So here we have to give the domain name, okay, the on-prem one. So, excuse me, either I can give the instance name, or the one I can do is I'll just copy the IP that I have, right? I will go to the Azure portal. So let's say virtual machines, and I'll copy the VM IP. This is my VM. I'll have access, Windows authentication. So it's SQL VM / demo user, which we created, and this is the password. Target server, I should go for the DB which we have. So this is the target server, and the authentication, let's go up with demo user and the password for the same. Let's select the database. Can you find this? We have the on-prem DB, and the target database is here, Code Sizzler. Okay, so I am going to move the data which is set to be from TCS on-premise database towards Code Sizzler database. And I told you that we have an option where you can set the source with DB, which is set to be a read-only, or it can be both read and write. So here in offline migration can help you only with read-only. Okay, if you need, you can select this, or else you can just check out. Now let's click on save. Can you find this? When I click on this, you should find the objects. We created all these things. You remember? I can show you on this. Production.brand, categories, all these things. Okay. So this is for the one which we have it from TCS on-premise database. Okay. So you're finding the data which is from TCS on-premise database. You can click on save. And now you can set up a name for migration. Let's say migration 1 again. Source server is the IP address which we have for the SQL VM. Destination is set to be the SQL server. I have given the server name and all these details. If you need to do the validation, you can click here. You can say that validate my database with a schema comparison between the on-prem and cloud. Data consistency, how you can access the data. And if there's any error on your query, it can heal up automatically. So that's query correctness. So you can select all these things and you will say run migration. This is where you put up the logs, right? So when some sort of migration gets dropped, right, it can have the logs and it can say that this is where you dropped it and it can heal up again. It can start from the point where it got dropped. So now you should be able to find the migration just happening. Can you find pending here?
We didn't check the checkbox, right? So still it is read-only mode only.
Yeah, it's offline migration, right? So it's only read-only mode. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So now the migration is done. Let's go up for the cloud one. So I will say I need to connect for another server. So the server name here is, this is the server that we have. Let's say SQL Server Authentication, and I will connect with this SQL Server Authentication. Let's click on connect, and there we go. So inside the database, you can find code Sizzler DB. And in tables, I can find the tables which we have migrated from the on-prem towards the cloud one. See, these are the tables that we have. It's getting loaded here. I will show you. Just give me a moment. Can you find this? We have production, brand, categories, products. Okay. So the data, what you have in the on-premise has been moved towards the cloud one now. Any questions? Hello.
Yeah.
All right. I'll wait for you people at this step. Okay. You can complete the demo and then we will go for the next sort of SQL one. Okay. We will explore more on the SQL database. And tomorrow we'll be taking up with the Azure SQL as well. Okay. I mean the online database migration. Hello. Hey guys, all good? Hello. I'll go up with the next demo. Just give me some heads up so that I can plan what I can do for the next, right? I don't know if you guys are active or not.
Yeah, Firoz, actually we are doing the
Okay, you want me to wait? If you're doing it, Mahesh, just let me know. When I ask for several times, I don't get any reply. So just let me know if you're doing it so that I can wait.
yeah. So for source detail, I am providing the IP of the VM name,
Okay.
authentication, Windows authentication, and the username I have provided,
Okay.
but still it's failing.
What error you're getting? Can you just take a screenshot and you can send it on the chat panel or something?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can send a screenshot in the chat or what, but just tell me what error you're getting there.
Failed to connect, please check the error details and malformed account name value provided. Expected format is domain name slash username. And I
Yes.
have,
So if your VM name is, say for example, SQL VM, right? You need
yeah,
to give your account details as SQL VM slash demo user. I'm just saying for an example. If you would have given Mahesh, then SQL VM slash Mahesh.
yeah, I have provided SQL on-prem VM only. Yeah.
Still you're getting the error, Mahesh?
Yeah, yeah, it's I'm saving once again.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's dealing with same error, a network related or instance specific error while occurring establishing the connection. Network path.
Copy and paste the error message alone on the chat box, please. Okay. The instance name is correct and the SQL server is configured to allow remote connections. Could not open a connection to SQL server, the network path is not. The network related. Have you given the right instance name or you have given, you can try giving up the IP address, right?
Yeah, I given the IP address of VM.
It's Mahesh, right, who is speaking. Wait.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, Mahesh. Mahesh, I am making you as a presenter. Okay, you can share the screen so that I can check what the error is about. And you give me the presenter rights back. Is that okay?
Yeah, fine, yeah.
Yes, you can share the screen now. All right.
Green, right, yeah.
Username, navigation, this. That's right. Try closing it, Mahesh. Close this wizard.
Yeah, even this one.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, go to your DMS.
Okay.
And show me your, okay, Mahesh. You have already configured it or what? You have one migration project already, Mahesh SQL Server. Click on that. Click on new activity. Yes. Offline data migration, right? Yeah. Now
Yeah.
give the IP address name. Yeah, IP address. Mahesh, go with B2MS here. The one which you are using is too costly. I'm sure Microsoft will delete it at any time.
Okay.
You're using DS13, something like that. It will cost in lakhs for one day.
Oh, I'll delete it once it is done. Yeah.
No, you just do this. Wait, wait. Give the name here, username.
Here. I need to change the.
You need to go with B2MS, not with DS13, all these things.
Okay. Where I need to change that one configuration?
Go with SQL on-prem VM. Click on that. SQL on-prem.
VM, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for size.
Re-
Wait. Go down. Just see the size what you're using. It's around 1 lakh we have to pay for a month. Go
Hourly.
for B2MS
Okay. This one.
and click on resize. They don't allow. So you need to delete it and you have to create it again.
My VM is on because my with that.
No, not because of that. Even if you shut down, it will not happen. So you just configure that. I can show you once again even on my screen, but please make sense you will not go up with a powerful machine. It will be a compliance issue if you're doing this. So please make sure you will not do that. Give me the admin rights please so that I can show you. I
Okay.
mean, give me the host privilege. Yeah. Presenter rights. All right. Is my screen is visible now?
Yeah.
All right. Go with the migration. Okay. Say new migration.
Right now I'm deleting this VM. Milk.
Okay. Just a second. It's getting loaded.
Actually, it given 46 rupees per hour actually for this VM. Firoz,
No, we are not supposed to go for that. The privileges what has been given is B2MS, not for D13 all. So you need to copy this IP. You have this public IP address. You just need to copy this IP. Go up for the DMS. I have TCS DMS here. You can say new migration project. Okay, you have to give a project name. I hope you should have done all these things. Yes?
yeah.
And once when you create a project, you will say new activity, offline database migration. So for the source, you need to give the IP address here. Windows authentication, it should be on this format, SQL VM/demo user and the password of it. So when you click on save, it gets added up.
Okay.
Right? So this is how you need to do it. Okay? Windows authentication, SQL VM, and the password of the same.
Okay.
Others? Any other question? All right. I hope you guys can find the status, right? You can find something called as validation completed. So the status is the validation is completed. And when I click on this, you can find you have the migration report as well. Okay. So this is the migration report. It has the time as well. It says how long it took for a particular database to be migrated, the tables to get it migrated. Okay. You can find all those details over here. And you can download this report. You can just see, you can download this report and you can open. I can say let's open with the Internet Explorer. Okay, not this one. Come on. So if I have a Chrome or something, I can download it and I can restore it. Is that okay? Okay, I need to restart this service to get it offline. Yeah, now we have it. Let me know if you have completed till this. I will go up with another demo where I will show you if I'm not creating a DB schema, what will happen as such. Okay. How about others except Mahesh? Okay, Mahesh, can we go for the next demo or do you want me to wait?
You can go, Firoz, yeah. It will take a lot. Yeah.
Okay. You have my account details, right? I'll share my contact details. If you have any sort of questions, you can also reach me out after 12 or anything. Just drop me a mail. I can help you out. Okay?
Okay.
Right. I'll just quickly go across for the next DB that we have. Okay. So see now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this demo is done. Okay. Now I'm going to create a database. So a database which will be an empty one. I'm not going to export any sort of schema. Okay, no schema, nothing. It's going to be an empty one. And I'll have the on-prem DB, the same which we have right now. It has some tables inside that. Okay. And now we will try doing the migration. I'll show you what sort of error we will be getting it when we do the migration. Okay. So let's take up this machine. I'll go up for the database. Let's go for the database and SQL DB. TCS day 2 and let's give the DB name as codes as the DB1. The same server. DB size will be basic. And let's create this. So TCS2 hyphen resource group, and we have this resource which has been deployed. Okay. So here in this resource group, it's an empty DB now. I hope you guys can make sense, right? It's MTDB. I will try connecting for this server and I will show you. See, we have a server here, code system SR, okay? And let's refresh this database. We should be able to find two DBs here. I have one database as code system DB1, okay? And just inside this database, I can go up, I can say that I am going to create tables. As of now, you would see that there are no tables that we have. So this is a cloud one, okay? And I'm not going to export any schema or anything. See, we don't have any tables. We don't have any objects which has been created over here. Let's go up for the migration now, okay? So let me say I'm going to migrate, okay, from the on-prem towards the cloud one. Let's go to the Azure portal. I will take up the DMS which we already have created. So let's say TCS DMS and a new migration project, migration 2, okay? From SQL Server towards the Azure SQL database, it's an offline migration, and let's click on create and run activity. Now it's asking for the server instance name. This is my server instance, okay, Windows authentication, and let's say it's going to be SQL VM/demo user. And the password is demo@pass123. Press the certificate, server certificate. Let's click on save. Failed to connect expected format for account names. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's gonna be this one, demo users. And let's go to the target. So the target is set to be the server that we have here. So let's copy the server name. And I'll say this is the target, SQL authentication, demo user, demo@pass123. Let's click on save. Now I want you guys to make sense here. I can say that I need to map towards the target database. And when I select this, let's go for the DB which we have, DB1 that we have created. We'll click on save. Can you find this? It says the table does not exist. So if you have not created the table, if you have not declared the objects, then it will not allow you to select. You cannot select it. It's all blurred up. Okay, you cannot select it. You can just say save and you will get this error. So if there's no schema which is deployed first, then you will get this error. It will not allow you to do the migration. So that's what we say you need to go off with data re-engineering. So now you have to create the tables on the destination, only then you can deploy it across. Are you clear? Magesh, are you there?
Yeah, fine. Fine, Vilas.
All right, yes. Well, so that's about the DMS, what you can do it offline. Okay, so this is a complete offline database migration, which we do from the on-prem towards the cloud one. We'll be working on the online migration by tomorrow. You can take time, you can take 15 minutes now. Try, if you have any questions, let me know at the offline database migration. And then we will explore a few more steps on the SQL Server database, okay, on your Azure SQL DB. Then we will join for the online database migration by tomorrow.
Feroz, one question.
Yeah. What's that, Alex?
Yeah, so if we are migrating an on-prem Oracle to SQL Server, Azure SQL Server, what are the issues we are likely to face? So the thing that I'm asking is this because see the SQL queries and Oracle queries, there'll be some difference between the keywords, right? So will it be easy to migrate? Feroz, you there? Hello.
Hello, Alex.
Feroz, you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Alex. I had a audio glitch. Tell me again, please.
Yeah, take a scenario where we are trying to migrate an Oracle server from on-prem to an Azure SQL database.
Okay.
So what are the challenges that we are likely to face? Because the Oracle queries and the SQL queries are different, right? This conversion, will it have some issues?
Of course, you will be having issues on the artifacts. You have some script artifacts, right? So you need to check that. And you need to check the XML files, right? You will be getting a CSV file, which is going to be the source on your project folders. You need to check that CSV file, which is going to speak about the inventory that you have in the Oracle instances. Okay, so you need to check that as well. And you need to check whether the SSMA that you're going to use will support you for the Oracle version that you use. Let's say, for example, you're going to set up your Oracle 12c environment, which is at enterprise or anything like that. You need to check whether that template is available on the Azure marketplace. Okay, so those are the those are the hurdles that you have in the real world migration. So I can just say that you need to check the data workload assessment. Okay, you need to see whether that workload can be migrated towards the Azure platform as such. You need to check the artifacts, okay, your raw data, what you're going to migrate as such. You need to see whether the SSME supports for the Oracle version that you're going to migrate across, and that template is available on the Azure marketplace or not. So these are the common issues that we have. So this can also predict, you do assessment, right? So Azure can do the assessment. It can tell you that these are the challenges that you would be facing across.
Okay. And what is the query conversion? Say if I'm converting a store procedure from Oracle to SQL, so there also are we likely to face some issues?
No, that's not going to be the issue. That's a major plus what we have here, because the query conversion, what you're going to take it across, will be taken care by Microsoft. I showed you, right, when you say offline migration, you had three things. You had schema, you had query conversion like that. So when you select query conversion, it will validate the database. It will do as much as the conversion that it can do it. Okay. If the supported artifacts is not available with Azure, then it will ask you to do the re-engineering work.
Okay, so say if I don't have a particular keyword, from Oracle to SQL, if I don't have a particular keyword, so it will convert that Oracle keyword to an SQL keyword, right?
Exactly, you're right. Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be good if you can show one use case at any point of time for Oracle.
Okay, sure, I will do that. I will complete the online migration by tomorrow. Okay, if time permits, I will do it. If not, I can even give you the handouts for that. Okay, you can look on that. Let me complete the TOC first, and then I will stick on to it. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right, here. Hmm. Hi, excuse me. Hey guys, are we good to go with the next one? All right, let me go up with the next demo.
Yeah, Feroz, you can continue.
All right, okay, thanks. So we will go off with this replication, okay, on your Azure SQL database. So this is where we are going to replicate the DB, and you will go up with having the DB to be available on multiple locations as well. Okay. So one thing which we have already worked is that you have something called as geo replication that we created already, right? And now when you go for database, you can configure the DB as well. Okay, you can configure the multiple database inside a SQL server. So to configure multiple database inside a SQL server, you can go for your server first. Let's go for SQL DB and you can find the server. See, this is the DB that we have, which is inside the server. So let's first begin with the server.
It's over actually.
I'll click on the server name.
You are going to join, but
I'll click on the server name.
I'm unable to ping you and this got over. That is one thing. Other thing is, Sharath, actually, yesterday if you could send them,
Excuse me,
unfortunately,
just go on mute,
I'm
please.
not sure
The
whether
one who
it
is
is problem
speaking.
with my network or my mail ID problem, but I didn't get, I'm
Hello,
unable to search that subject line as well. If I search,
Magesh.
I'm able to see the mail from morning you sent, copy the data. That is the one I'm able to see.
Hello, hello. All right, let me go for the DB here, and you can find the databases that we have, right? So you have the number of databases which are created that can be seen over here. Now, if you want to add a database on the SQL server, you just go to the SQL server and you can say, I'll create a new database here. So say a new DB, and you can give the DB name. You can say that you have some workloads or anything. I will give the DB name here as PCS DB3, DB2, and let's say sample adventure. Okay, that's the server that we are going to use, and I will go with the basic one. So let's say basic, and I'll click on apply to get it created. So here, I'll so you can see that the DB is getting created inside the server that we have, creating SQL database. Okay. So the DB is now created, and I'll just show you connecting this DB on the SSMS. It's refresh this. You can find TCS DB2. And let's go for tables. You should find the adventures work table that we have here. Can you find this? We have all these tables that we have. So, well, now I can go up for the database, right? I can go to the Azure portal. Let me go from the local one. So the database is here. We will configure the geo replication and we will work with failover. Okay. So let's go up with the database once again. And the DB which we created now, it will be here in this resource group. And there you can find TCS DB2. Let's go for geo replication and I'll replicate the DB. So from the first data center region, let's say that I'll move it towards the West US. Secondary type is going to be a readable one. We need to create a server for the secondary one. So I'll say again TCS secondary. Class 123 as a password. So there we go up with the database. Okay, it's getting replicated. Once when this replication gets completed, we will go up with a failover to be initiated. Okay. It's getting replicated yet. Can you find this? You are getting the seeding 0%. So it's almost like done. We have. Okay, so now you should be able to see, excuse me. Yeah, now you should be able to see that we have something called as readable, right? So I will go to the readable now, and let's click here. You can find we have something called as forced failover. So we are going to do a forced failover, which will switch the primary and the secondary role. As of now, you can see, right? It's the primary one is only at online, okay, which can do both read and write, and this is only with the readable one. I'm going to switch the role of both of these machines, okay, these databases. So let's click here, and I will go for forced failover. Okay, can you find this? The primary role will be different. Okay, so you have the forced failover, which will switch the TCS one, okay, towards the DB2, and if the old primary will automatically become the new secondary one. So let's click on yes for this. Okay. I hope you can make sense, right? The primary and the secondary gets changed now.
So one thing, sir, so before the failover, the region closer to West US will be reading from the secondary server, right?
No, Southeast Asia will be reading from the secondary server.
And then
Come
what is the
again, what
meaning
was
of
your question you were asking about? Come again.
the primary and secondary both are active, right? So the regions that are closer to West US will be reading from the secondary server, right?
You're right, yes.
Okay. So only write is not. I mean, when you do the failover, write also will be enabled.
Write will not be enabled, only read will be enabled. Write will not be enabled. Write will be happening only at the secondary region now. You would be having a cache, right? Each and everything comes up with a session persistence on the database. So the persistence will hold the logs. The read and write will write will face a SLA, whereas read will be available for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you do the failover, then the failover one, replicated one will become read write, right?
Correct. Yeah. You can find it once when this gets done. You can find it. I'll just show you across.
Similar kind of issue occurred actually, but it stays in read only mode only. Even the failover happened, but we did manual failover.
No, it will go up, Magesh. It will go up now I have initiated the failover. So what will happen is West US will go up with a read and write. Okay. Southeast Asia will have only read access for you. I don't know what was the mistake that you would have done on the production.
Okay. One more thing, the failover replication is having 99.9999 SLA, right? But why
Yes.
much time for failover?
No, the first time it gets time, and moreover, you have a cache problem here. In the browser, you have, that's why I'm stick towards incognito window. But still, you have a cache problem that's having here. And 99.96 is like, see, for the first time, when you initiate a failover or when you initiate a sync group, it's going to take time. That's common with all cloud service provider. The time of synchronization between the on-prem and cloud is where we say 99.9%. The first time you will be having a huge sort of failure, timing that it takes to initiate the failover. Same for replication as well. Sync is where we say 99.9%. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
So So if my cluster, which is best US, is having issues, so these guys, Microsoft guys, are unable to fix. So they will give other cluster, or they will rectify the same one.
They will provide you with the other cluster. Okay, until the first one gets healed up, you will be using the secondary server what you have. And the secondary server will get, I mean, the request will get redirected towards the first one once when it gets healed up.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me try refreshing it.
So if you we will add IP address for firewall settings, right? To access it. So how can we mitigate that? See, for example, if I am in my project network,
Okay.
I don't want to give any firewall, means my IP to add it firewall level. So is it
Okay.
mitigate that? I need to create any VPN kind.
If I'm not wrong, your question is that you have a firewall. I mean, you no need to put up any firewall for the database that you have. So you want to keep this opened up or what?
So if I am in client network, if I am using the client network, then
Okay.
my SQL has to open automatically with my ID, Active
Yeah, I
Directory.
got it. Yes. That you cannot do it on a SQL database. Instead, you can go up with a service called as MI. I hope you know it, right? You have, when you go for the database, you have something called as managed instance, which will help you to come up with a VPN. Okay, you can give up your private network. So here you can do that, SQL MI. Okay.
Okay.
Azure SQL database will not help you for that. Azure SQL DB is a complete PaaS which works on the cloud environment. That's it. Okay. So can you find this private endpoint is there?
Yeah, proxy.
Right. Okay, this will help you out.
Even if with Azure SQL, actually the number of IPs, client IPs, are having limited, right? 256 I.
Correct.
So if it crosses that one, it is not allowing other people to connect to that Azure SQL.
No, you can add the next range of IP addresses. It allows you to put up a group of IP address ranges, start and end IP like that. So if you have reached 256, right, you have 255. When you reach 256, you can put up the next group of IP address range giving the start and the destination one.
Okay. So okay.
Which was the DB? TCS DB2, right? Yeah. So let's go up for the geo replication. All right, here. Can you find this? West US is online now. Southeast Asia has gone up for read access. Okay. Now let's sync this database towards other database. You can see sync to other database. You can find the option here, right? Sync to other databases. I'll click on new sync group and let's create a synchronization group here. Okay, let's say for example here the sync group will be Code Sizzler GP. I want to sync this towards a new database, so let's create a new DB. I will say Code Sizzler DB again. From here, okay, from this resource group, the target server is the same. Pricing tier, let me go for the basic one. I will click on apply for this. Let's click on OK. You can say whether you want to put up an automatic sync or not. And you have the conflict resolution. You have two steps here. One is a hub win. Okay. Hub win is going to work on a hub base. Okay. You have a hub and the sync happens with the hub. Member win is said to be within the worker type that you have. Okay. So you have two sort of things. I can say I will go up with a hub win here. If you're creating something out of a member win, then you need to mention the member win things. Okay, so it's up to you that you go across. So here I will say I will have a hub win. Okay, it's going to be a master and slave node that you have, like a VM cluster. So here it will ask you for the types of your hub win. So the next one we can go up for the hub database here. Let's wait, it's still getting processed. You can find the status here, right? Creating the sync group.
So why we are creating the sync group again?
See, now we are syncing the database towards only one particular DB, right? From a source to its destination. But what if I want to create it towards a group of databases? I have a group, I want to sync it towards another database, right? So there I can go up with this sync group. Okay, you can sync the database towards other database will be on a group. And let's say one database has reached more DTUs or anything, you can even pull the DB request from the other databases that we have.
Okay. But we have the multiple replication is enabled, right? We can add multiple.
You're right. You have multiple replication in the sense it's geo, right? You can go up only with one secondary data center region. If it is like huge volume of customers, say Visa cards, right? Say MasterCards. In those cases, we will go up with these things, sync to multiple database.
Okay.
Sync member group, let's say TCS member. SQL Server, I'll select the same that we have here. Code just load. Sync DB towards the master one. Sync direction, let's say to the hub or from the hub, you can select it here.
Yes, that was one thing we didn't understand is that we have already done geo replication. So, I mean, what is the real importance of the syncing?
That's what I'm saying. See, when I say geo replication, it is from a primary towards a secondary data center region that you have. Okay. When I say sync members, it's like a cluster. You know the master and the work node that you have, right? You have a group of databases. You can use round robin. You're going to distribute the database request, I mean the sync request towards multiple databases which you have within a member group or within a hub group that you have. So when you have more number of volumes, right, when you have more number of volume data like Visa cards or MasterCards, this is going to be a higher level of hierarchy that you can set up. And this can help you to go up with a hybrid environment as well between the on-prem and the Azure database like that, which you cannot do it when I speak about Azure SQL database. I mean geo replication on Azure SQL database. Are you clear now?
Yeah, so this comes in place where we have an enormous amount of data, right?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say add a on-premise DB. You can say where your DB is available. Okay, you can put up a gateway. You can call the database that you have here. Okay. Well, so that's about the database that we have. You can just say okay.
Firoz, can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible. Go ahead.
Firoz, I have one question. So in case like if we have got a huge set of data and we are going for a hub-based configuration.
Okay.
Should be like
Joseph, one moment, Joseph. One moment, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, come again, Joseph. Sorry.
Yeah. Suppose there is a scenario where we have got huge number of data. I mean, we have got a huge data. Then we are going for this hub configuration that one master and slave nodes. So if my secondary database is a kind of a configuration like we are having a sync group, then my primary should also be a kind of sync group, right?
No, not like that. This is going to be like a master and slave nodes that you have. So you put up one request, right? You should have seen something called as MPP, Massive Parallel Processing Architecture.
Yes,
So
yes.
you will be having a control node at the top, okay, and the control node is going to distribute the request to its multiple nodes that you have. This is going to work only within the same data center region. It's not between different data center regions. Okay?
Okay.
You're getting it right. It's not between Southeast Asia and East Asia, something like that. It is only within Southeast Asia. And within Southeast Asia, you have multiple databases like virtual machine scale sets. It's going to use round robin where it's going to distribute the data, okay, towards the multiple database. I mean, it's going to distribute the request data, the logs, everything towards multiple databases that we have using round robin.
Okay. This
Okay.
yeah, okay, so this configuration we are doing only for the primary database, Southeast
You're
Asia.
right. Yeah, yeah. There's no secondary database on this. Okay.
So when you say round robin, how do you ensure that the data is distributed equally?
That's Azure's responsibility, right? We are not going to do it. The algorithm which is predefined, this is platform as a service, right? The things have been configured by default. It's going to use round robin at the back end. It's like a load balancer. So the health props, they say 99.9%, right? The health props and everything will be taken care by Microsoft. The only point we are going to do is we are going to configure it. It's a platform as a service. That's it. When it comes like IaaS, when you say MI or when you say SQL Server on Windows Server, something like that, then you need to configure it. You're getting the point? Yeah. All right. So this is how the sync works. Okay, I have created the sync agent, and the sync will be happening between the multiple databases that you have. When you click on this, right, you can find the sync. You can say sync. So I have 12 tables. You can distribute it towards, I have selected only one database, so it can sync towards the 1 DB that you have here. Can you find this? Sync has been triggered now. Schema information obtained successfully. Okay, that's the status that you have. You can find the logs over here. Okay. Any questions? All right. So there we go. Your DB that you have here, okay, and the secondary server that you have across, you can find primary and the secondary one that we have here. And inside that, you have your database as well, okay, which is said to be a sync too. Well, guys, so that's the part for today. I just want to put up the survey forms to you guys. Okay, you can let me know if you have any questions. You can also practice the demo. I'll be available here. You can just keep me posted if you have any questions. Okay.
Yeah, Firoz, we have sharded databases are there, right? At level instead of
Yes, shared key patterns. It's SHARD you're saying about. Am I right?
SHRED.
SHRE. You're speaking about shared database?
Sharded, SHARDED.
Yes, yes. Yeah, tell me.
So instead of going with sync, if data is high, we can use that one, right? It works like a elasticity principle. It will divide based on the partitions.
You're right. So that's where we go up with elastic pools. Okay, you have elastic pool which you get configured. You should have seen the first session, right? I hope Kishore was handling it. He should have taught you something called as elasticity. When you create a database, you come up with elastic pools. It gives you DTUs. Okay, so there we go up with a shared one. But that's again said to be a costly factor. Okay, and when you go up with a huge volume of data, you will be having multiple databases, right? Visa cards, one database can be for the sales, I mean the purchase what you have done. The second can be with some other scenario purpose that you have. So when you have multiple database on different scenarios, then that's not going to help you out. You need to composting through.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just sharing the survey form for you guys. Yeah, this is the link that you have. So this is the survey form link. Okay, I'm just sending you on the chat panel. Get the survey form to be completed, please.
Firoz? Hello? Firoz?
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, tell me.
Firoz, what is a failover group? Like suppose if we add our database, um,
Hmm.
both the primary and the secondary database onto the failover group, then will it automatically manage the failovers and the load
Uh,
distribution?
I'm really sorry. Can you come again once again, please? I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, is there something like a failover group that if we add our primary and secondary replicated databases into the failover group, so in case of a in case of a failover in my primary database, will the failover take up automatically?
Yes,
Will
yes. Yeah, you're right. That's why we go for failover. Wait, see, now what we have done is a manual failover, right? The failover can work automatically when the primary data center region goes down.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So uh, I have two more questions, Feroz. Like
Hmm.
I had read that in the geosynchronization, in the GRS, when we go for a GRS, there are
Storage.
at least
Okay.
storage. Yes,
Hmm.
GRS storage. There are at least six replica copies that are created. Means
Correct.
one primary and secondary. So this is like a database replication, right? Database GRS. So
Correct.
in this case, how many copies can we have for the primary database? If it's six
This
or
is this is again going to be 6, but you cannot compare it with GRS because I mean you have only geo replication here. You don't have locally redundant, right? You don't have the three copies, all those things. When you have not configured geo replication, it's going to be three copies of the master data center. Let's say Southeast Asia, okay? And when you have configured geo replication, three at the primary data center region and three in the secondary data center region. That's it. And there's no zone redundant or anything over here.
So this is true for the database also. Like if you are creating
Correct.
multiple
Yeah.
okay,
So here there's no zone redundant. This is going to work with not with GRS, but this is going to be RAGRS. When the primary, the primary will be both with read and write, and secondary one will come up only with read access, not with read and write. I hope you should have seen when I do the replication, the secondary goes with
yeah,
read only.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So that's RAGRS what works here.
Okay,
Yeah. Any other
okay.
questions?
That's all. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Firoz, after this session is completed, so we can take this data backup, uh,
Which data backup here?
the data present in SQL Server to our local kind.
Yeah, you can. See, what you have in Azure SQL DB, you can just take the logs, you can take the tables logs. Again, you have to import it towards your SSMS. That's it. You cannot take the entire backpack or anything from the cloud environment. That Azure will not support.
Okay.
No CSP will support for it. If you have your database on the cloud and if you say that I need to keep all the data at on-prem as well, Microsoft is not going to support you for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even for images and all the things, we'll keep it in VHD kind thing, right? That is also not available.
No, it's not available. You cannot do that.
Okay. So if we need, we can raise with Microsoft.
No, yeah. I mean, if you're coming out of the CSP, right? If you say that I'm no more into Microsoft Azure, you need to clear the billing. They will give you the data backup. Why Microsoft preserves that data is that if people are not going to do the billing cycle, then they will come out of the CSP environment, right? I mean, if you have the data, then there are chances that people don't get into Microsoft Azure again. The billing will be incomplete. So Microsoft keeps the data. They don't give you the data backup.
Okay.
When you say that I'm going to move out of Azure, you need to clear the billing, then they will give you the backup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even we can create this one as a ARM template and we can keep it in offline. Then if we need it, we can, using that ARM template, we can make it online.
But again, ARM template will help you only to do the provisioning, right? It will not hold the DBs. You cannot keep DB word or customer, something like that, right? You can just keep the configurations what you have. That's it. That's why ARM supports us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming to the security, see, these guys are giving the virtual server to us, right? So might be the physical server is having the different databases from different organizations or from different parts of the world.
Yeah. So you're saying that you will be having customers who are from different data locations, right?
Yeah, not only
Okay.
not only from our organization, it will also from other organizations as well. Because it is physical server is entirely different. We are not sure what exactly that is.
I agree. So what do you think? You're speaking about the security part?
Yeah, security thing. So
Okay. Here there's two sort of encryption that happens. The normal encryption that we do, and then at top of it you have UTF-8 sort of encryption that also happens. Still, if you say that I need a NSG to be added up, a network security group to be added up for firewall or anything like that, then we have to go up with SQL Server on Windows Server or Azure SQL MI. Okay, this cannot help you out to configure network security part.
okay, but Firoz, actually, see, if any patches comes up or if any updates comes up, these guys, Microsoft admin guys, can log into their physical servers and they will do all the things, right? There is a chance of
Yes.
data get means they can get the data from the servers as well, right? They can see the data as well.
No, that's where encryption happens, right? Even Microsoft cannot do it. See, each and every, let's say I am working on the patch level team, right? If I am working with Microsoft on a patch level team, I have a role base, okay? I'm sorry, yeah. I would be a contributor, so I can just go across, I can roll out my patch steps, that's it. And that access will also be given only with PowerShell. I need to go up with a Cloud Shell environment and I need to do it. Either way, if I'm even going to be the admin of the SQL database or anything like that, the data will be encrypted where we cannot see the data. Okay? So, and down the line when we speak about cloud, we have to trust the CSP, no other go, right? So there are no chances the data will be taken by the Microsoft or by Amazon or anything like that. There's the encryption which happens and they define role based, okay, and they will be working from the Cloud Shell environment where they will not log in towards the database. but they can just go up with the Cloud Shell and they can roll out the patch what they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even the upgrades and all the things at SQL level, they won't provide the intimation kind or notification kind. They will do the upgrades as well.
Automatically, yeah. Because
Okay.
it's a platform as a service, right? They don't rely on what we are going to say as such. We have to stick towards the platform what they are going to give. If it is a SQL database, Azure SQL database, if it is going to be a MI or if it is going to be a SQL server on Windows Server, then it's our responsibility. We will be doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we can ask them to provide the alert or notification kind to whenever they are doing any updates or anything.
Yes, by every second week of a month, we get update. Okay, that's how Microsoft works on the update level. Every second week, Saturday, you will be getting update. Okay, and if you need a notification, yes, we also get notifications. You have logs where you can go, you can check the logs, saying that what sort of update, what sort of, let's say, even in application level, you get NuGet package updates, all these things. So they will let you know what sort of update you have. When it is Azure SQL database, you can just see the updates. When it's going to be MI or anything like that, you can take the decision whether you need to install the update or not as such.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
All right. Sounds great. Today we have lot many interactive discussions.
Yeah.
Have you filled the survey forms?
Firoz, on Wednesday, are we going to touch base on Power BI, or what is that you're saying that you'd like to discuss?
No, Power BI is not going to be here. We will be completely sticking to its DMS one.
DMS. Okay.
Yeah, Power BI is not in the agenda here.
Okay. So,
If you need some document or something like that, just let me know. I can help you out.
okay, okay, sir. Okay, Firoz. I'll
Yeah, sure. Do we have Chidananda here?
Yeah, yes, I feel. Yeah.
Hi, Chidan. Yes, I am just seeing your survey form, and you can share your inputs, what you're exactly looking on the migration part. Are you speaking about infra level of migration or anything? Hello? Hello? See, it's not the infra level of migration. The agenda what we have is on the DMS part. Okay, stick on to the, just see the agenda what we have. Okay, and then let me know because you have written that it's not much relevant and you need more demos on migration as such. Okay, I can take it further. I would say that what you're expecting as such, I can write it for both the Microsoft and for the teachers environment. Let's see how I can help you out. Okay, if you need some documents or anything like that, I can also share you that. Okay, so just let me know what you're looking on that.
So can we automate these things, Firoz, instead of opening, creating the project after task and all the things? Is there any way to automate?
Yes, we can do it, Mahesh. We can go up with the PowerShell, right? You can generate the ARM templates. You can go with the PowerShell ISC, and from there you can spin up the things. Even the failover and everything, you can do it with the ARM template itself.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me. All right, guys. We will close with this for today. You can keep me written if you have any questions or anything. Okay, and we'll see you guys by the next Wednesday that we join together. Okay. Thank you so much for joining, and write me across if you have any questions. Okay. Joseph, I saw your feedback as well. Joseph, just drop me a mail if you're looking for any other things. Okay. I mean, the content you need some other help or anything like that, I would be more than happy to help you out. Okay. Just drop me a mail. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Firoz.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you so much, all.